Hi and welcome to this video in which we will go through some of the frameworks which I found for Dart. The main reasons why I've decided to give Dart a try. But as with any new language, it is also important that you check if all required features are available before you actually start developing important applications with the language. Now, how do I do that? In most of the cases, after we have scoped out the applications, we list all the features, and then we check if all special features are available in the language. So for example, file upload is usually a special case. What kind of file uploads are required? Image cropping, for example, is one of the features which might not be supported by development languages. And then once we have done that, then we check, is there a vendor out there who actually developed this already? Is there a vendor out there that can develop it, or can it be developed by ourselves? And based on that, we will just make sure that it's fixed on paper before we actually start to develop the application. And if one of the features is not possible to develop, then it means that the programming language might not be the right choice, and maybe another programming language has to be chosen for this particular application. So in most of my projects, I want to decouple the client side and the server side. The most commonly used way how to do that is to build a JSON REST API on server side, which provides a common format to send and receive data. The good thing about JSON is that most of the languages can handle it, as it is based on the HTTP protocol, and most of the languages have support for HTTP. They have libraries that support the HTTP protocol. Google stated in one of their videos that they try to provide the best client-side experience to develop applications. So they are not in particularly concentrating on the server side, because they have their own product called Firebase, which they try to push. But thankfully there are also some non-Google frameworks out there which you can use to develop your backend. So one of the most comprehensive frameworks out there at the moment I found is Aqueduct. It is developed by a company called Stable Kernel and supports a PostgreSQL database. It's quite a complete framework. It's nicely done. It's blazing fast. It has a lot of features. So have a look at it, give it a try, and most likely you will find what you are looking for. The only thing which isn't supported up to now is a possibility to support file uploads. But I have been speaking with the developers, and it seems to be a feature that they have on their roadmap and will implement at some point. Then the next framework I found is Jaguar. It is quite actively developed right now. It has support for MongoDB, PostgreSQL and MySQL. Especially if you want to use a non-SQL database like MongoDB, then you might have to take a closer look at this project, at this framework. Jaguar is still lacking some documentation. At some point, I guess it will be added. The good thing about Jaguar is that it supports file uploads, so it has this functionality integrated already. So if you need file uploads, then you might want to have a look at it. Then there is also another framework called Angel. Angel is currently only compatible with Dart 1, but according to the website, Dart 2 is in work. So at some point, Angel might also be a framework to consider. On the front-end sides, we have AngularDart, which can be used to develop the web front-end. And for mobile, so iOS and Android, you have Flutter, which you can use to develop the application. AngularDart and Flutter are from Google, so these have a lot of features integrated already. The cool thing is that they also use material design, so you have a lot of widgets available, which can be customized based on your design. So that helps a lot when you develop an application, because you don't have to create all these widgets by yourself. So when I'm talking about widgets, I mean, for example, date pickers, different kind of cards, accordions, and things like that. So why have I decided to give Dart a try? Well, mainly because I can write server-side and client-side applications with the same language. It supports mobile and it supports web, which is also a major plus. So I can use one language to develop most of it. Now you might say, yes, but JavaScript is also there, and most likely even have more features available right now. Yes, you are right. This is my personal choice, because I come from a Java-like background and not from a JavaScript-like background, and I never actually liked to develop in JavaScript, so it's a personal choice why I want to use Dart as a language. One of the cool things which is really great about AngularDart and also Flutter is that both languages are component based, which means that when you want to distribute development among a larger team, then it's easy to do that, because each component can be developed independently. And in the end, you can assemble all these components to get the finished application or the finished product. And that helps a lot when it comes to development in larger teams. And it also makes the separation of concerns much easier. So these are basically the reasons why I decided to give it a try. At the moment, I'm still trying it. I'm not developing production-like applications with it, but it seems to be quite a stable language, and also with stable frameworks around it, because Google is using it in production. So from that point of view, it's absolutely production ready. So I hope I could give you a good overview about the frameworks that are out there, and what are some of the features of the language. So in the next videos, I will actually start to show how I set up some of the frameworks, and hopefully this will be useful to you too. So have a good day, and bye bye.